And hashtag no blade left behind. Come on in, throw me a Subie smile, and all I gotta say is squad goals. Thank you for being here, for clicking in today's video, and for joining me. Hopefully, wherever you're watching from, you're drinking something cold, sitting in a comfy chair, ready for a shave. I know I could use one. I've got just over 4 days of growth, 4 full days, and we're going to be tackling that, knocking it down with YAQI's up-and-coming Avanti stainless steel safety razor, and comparing that to their adjustable, this is their adjustable slope stainless steel safety razor. I want to do this with you guys on channel because they are very, very similar as far as spec-wise, even though one is a slant and one is a standard flat regular blade. I am really excited because originally when I first experienced the slope razor, I said this may be their best mild razor that they offer for an adjustable razor. I absolutely love their slope. I don't think it gets enough discussion, and I was a razor that I love to pick up. Look at the like barber pole knurling here. It is a beautiful all stainless steel fabricated razor that operates similar to the Gibbs, but that they have gone in and created their own individual unique kind of mechanism inside that stabilizes the blade with little teeth. I love this razor. I love how they've kind of gone through and made it their own with an adjustable style, and I think it's going to really compare well against their up-and-coming Avanti razor. We're going to find out. It's going to be awesome. Thank you for being here. I am stoked for the shave. We're also going to be doing a little highlight, a little showcase, and spotlight of one of my favorites for this time of year, Atomic Pumpkin. This just barely released over on Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements website, and I love this one every single year. I bust this out multiple times. As you can see, we are almost out of it. It smells to me, and I'm going to be totally transparent here, honest, I don't get a lot of pumpkin out of it. It's there. It's a little bit at the back end of the note. I get quite a bit of this really punchy fireball scent, right? It smells to me very cinnamon-like, very, very much like the candy, like the hot tamales, like, those like kind of cinnamon candies. Fireball, right? The little fireballs. Or for all of you adults out there, it does smell a little bit like fireball to me. I love this one. Again, Phoenix Artisan Accoutrement just barely dropped this, and it's a banging scent for this time of year, especially as we come into the fall months, right? It's coming in. I can already feel it in the weather. We did the lather today with the YAQI brushes, and I wanted to I'll have this going down here. They released a bunch of brushes, or going to be releasing a bunch of brushes, and they sent them to us, and they're just really beautiful. They're all their professional line series, and they lather so nice. Look at this stuff. It's rich, it's hydrated, it's dense, and it is runny. That is just shave soap. Look at this. Look at that stuff. Really, really nice. Very, very thick. Look at how it goes on. Oh man, this is going to be a phenomenal shape. I can already tell. Tons of water in this. The CK6 stuff never disappoints. Smells so darn good. And I love this wood on the brush, right? It's like this wood. It's really pretty. I don't have very much information about those brushes at all, but I just want to give Grace and her team a huge shout out and a massive thanks for sending them our way. Really excited to use them. Good quality brushes, especially this one. I really like the weight of them, but look at this shimmer and shine to this. Really pretty. You see that? I think that's gorgeous. Really, really nice. I actually found YAQI originally when I was buying their brushes, and now they make beautiful, incredibly wonderful, high-spec razors. But back in the day, when I was first starting, I thought they had one of the best synthetic knots, and I still think that today. I still love their synthetic knots, and today's synthetic knot really did a great job. Okay, let's get in. Let's start talking about the two razors offered by YAQI that I feel fit the people looking for less blade fill, skin sensitive people, shavers out there. If you're a person that has sensitive skin and you're looking at the adjustable razors over at YAQI's website, all the stainless steel ones at least, and you're looking for one that has very, very mild like blade fill, but lots of performance, I think both of these razors are going to ring in as being something you want to look at. I think they'll really fit that style. Both both are similarly weighted. This the slope is 94 grams. The Merkur style is right, the Avanti, 113 grams. So they're not super heavy and they're similarly heavy, but they're definitely a heavier razor than like an aluminum or something like a Bakelite. They're definitely got some heft to them, right? And then the other thing I want to mention is they both start similarly on the 0 marker. You have the Avanti that starts at 0.55, whereas the slope starts at 0.5. So they're super duper similar at their 0 level. And I was talking to Yaqi, and we'll talk a little bit about the updates here, because there's going to be updates on the public released variation, right? This version that you're looking at right here is actually going to go all the way down to the plus marker when it's fully adjusted down when they ship it, right? That's with the blade in there. So again, I want to make that very clear. They're going to change this so that with the blade loaded, it goes down to the plus marker on 0. So what that means for everybody out there is that it's probably going to start closer to like 0.5 on the gap, which is identical to their slope. And then towards the top end, right, both razors can max out and both razors can overclock. We're going to shave today on the just slightly over 6 when it comes to the slope. And we're going to shave maxed out at the, it's actually over at the 1 marker. You see that? As far as the Avanti goes. And the reason we're going to shave on the 1 marker with this razor, I was thinking about it, is because right now this variation doesn't even go all the way to the 1 when I'm turned all the way down with the blade in it, because it was in progress, kind of a working prototype. So I have to crank it all the way up to the 1 for a full rotation. So we're going to be shaving with just 1 full rotation so that everybody out there can relate to where we are as far as the numbers go. I want to call this out before we start shaving. The Merkur Progress actually has consistently been known to have the problem with the adjustment down here. Some people, they adjust at the starting of the plus marker. Some people adjust at the 1.5 marker. It's kind of varied razor to razor as their tolerances have kind of varied, right? So this has always been kind of a struggle point. And I think what Grace and her team has done is really smart, starting it at the plus marker when they ship it. And then they also will be creating an indicator. I don't know what it'll look like, but there will be an indicator here showing what the razor starts at. So how the razor is supposed to load. I just want to call those things out before we start the shave. Okay, let's get in here and let's start some swipes. We will do the battle swipes on the head most likely. I didn't do them on the face today because of how close the shave really was. Take a look at my neck. It is it's so close. It's super duper close, really comfortable. Both razors took down 4 days of growth like it wasn't there. And it was very smooth. I think part of the problem is when I first started trying out the Avanti razor, I started at the very lowest and then I started working my way up, where I think starting at the higher end seems to knock down that stubble, and it's less passes. So my skin seems to like it a little bit better. Let's find out today how it does. It's going to be awesome. We're going to start on the right-hand side here with the Avanti razor and take a look at the smoothness. We're using the Derby Premium black blades, so we are actually switching blade brand too. I have been using the Rex blades, but I find that if you're coming into the craft, right, and you have sensitive skin, starting with a more mild blade may be beneficial. So I wanted to see how these razors would do with a mild blade in it. Take a look here. Woo! Now knocking it down, no problems whatsoever. It's very smooth. That's the one thing about the Avanti razor, is that it's very smooth. Look at the lather channels here too. So because they are all the way encapsulated, right, I wasn't sure if they would totally always wash out, but look, very easy to wash out when you're using this much gap, of course, right? There's not anything there to block it. I really, really like this razor. As I've used it a couple times now, it's kind of growing on me, to be really honest. It started as a razor that I was like, I think it's too mild. And it's kind of, as I figured out that, because it's not starting at the 1 marker, you have to go full rotation to be maxed out. And with it maxed out, I really, really like this one a lot. It fits more of my preference and more of like the amount of performance I need for my skin. Take a look here. Really, really like that. And the shave, that was 1 pass. Look how close we are. Look how, it's so darn comfortable and really, really, really close with just 1 pass. Yeah, no, I like this one a lot. It's really growing on me. It's one of those ones that I think learning the angle to it, and learning where it likes to, where it likes to shave, and not only where it likes to shave, wow, getting it so that it's actually at the right number, right? Because you have to kind of go and figure out where your where your needs are, right? Oh my goodness, yeah, that's awesome. That is so darn good. And when you compare it to like the Merkur Progress, I think in the upper end of the model, like as far as the numbers go, upper level of adjustment, it is very, very, very similar. I would say take it and go like one number or two numbers lower. Because if you look at the Merkur Progress's numbers, right, down here, they're a little largely spaced out. So I think because of that, right, you have to go a little bit further on this razor. The dial's a little smaller. Everything about this is a little bit more refined. It's a little bit thinner and sleeker. And I think because of that, you have to just kind of adjust accordingly. Other than that, it feels very similar and very, very smooth. Look at the shave here. I am not getting any stubble at all. Yeah, wow, that is close, comfortable, and efficient. And I think with the updates, and I wanted to do this video really quick with everybody to kind of showcase and talk about the updates, them, adding the actual indicator of how it's supposed to adjust and how it's going to assemble. I think with them doing those things, the razor is going to perform a lot better for everybody else out there. Watch this. You guys check this out. Look at, that's how it did on my neck too. It's just so darn smooth and so close. Yeah, that is awesome. Really, really like that Avanti. Okay, let's get in here, grab ourselves the slope and see how it does side by side kind of comparatively. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love the slope. It's one of those razors that I honestly, I never saw YAQI producing. It was kind of like, they upped their game, right? When they released a stainless steel slant adjustable razor, I thought that's when they really, in my mind, went to like a premium tier. I was like, if they can come up with that and they can do it out of stainless steel, they can do anything. I mean, titanium, you name it. And what they did is really quite fabulous, in my opinion here. You can see it has this really, really delicate concave to the blade, right? The way it slants and the way it puts on that angle is very, very specific, and it is tooled incredibly. The feeling of that barber pole in the hand is just really nice grip wise. And I will call this out because I think it's important to mention that the different variations of the Ultima, right? What we're using here is the slope adjustable, but YAQI also offers their standard Ultima, which is really just like a designed stainless steel Gibbs. And I grabbed these and I showcased them in the loading video. But what I want to show here is that they have different caps. You can see the two different variations have two different caps. And I actually grabbed these, and because they have the same like bar system in the cap as the Avanti, they actually are like, you can use them side by, you can actually swap them out. You could actually Franken razor the Avanti with your Ultima. I just wanted to call that out because I thought it was really fascinating as I started like assembling it this morning. I was kind of laughing to myself. I was like, well, we definitely need to do a Franken shave one of these days with the YAQI Ultima and the Avanti razor. It made me kind of laugh because they go right together. The one thing I noticed is the one with the more flat head cap here, the one with like that looks like this, the one that's a little flatter, it actually went down to 5. So it was like a little bit below the plus marker. And then what I just did is I adjusted up to the 0. So they're not going to zero out perfectly. And that's just, I think that's something you'd have to know while you're using it. It's not going to adjust like it should, but I'd be curious to see how it shaves and if it changes the angle, and just something for fun, right? So that may be something I want to do later on. Let me know in the comments if you would be interested in seeing like a Avanti and a Frankenstein Avanti, right? With the Ultima cap. Really interesting. Very cool. I like being able to do that with some of the YAQI stuff. Man, I'm saying this right now. You can see it with me. I would say that even with similar gap and similar exposure, and the similar specs and weight and size, that I'm having to do a little bit more buffing with the slope to get as close as I did with the Avanti, as fast. You know what I mean? You can see it here. I'm still feeling a little bit coming off. So it definitely is one of these razors, and I love this razor. The slope for me is one of my favorite mild razors from them, because it's a razor that I get in, I do the correct passes, right? I do the with the grain, across the grain, and against the grain strokes, and I get a really, really flawless BBS shave. But that Avanti, man, it bulldozed through the stubble a lot faster, and I would say it had almost the same blade fill. maybe a little slightly more, I would still put it as a mild razor. To be honest, they are both extremely mild. Yeah, very, very close, very comfortable. I would say that the Avanti was closer faster than their slope razor. So if you're using the slope razor and you like the feel of it, but you want a little bit more performance, even a little bit more, I would say full turn on the Avanti razor is going to give you just that. Okay, we're going to get re-lathered up here, and I will see you for some battle passes. Nice. We're grabbing ourselves the Avanti now, and we're going to start some shaving and some cross passes. I love this razor. As I was lathering up, I could just tell you already, I'm becoming a fan of this type of razor, where it goes in from very, very mild to like a more medium mild, right? It's still mild, but the performance at that top tier, I'm getting a good shave with it. So I think if you're really, really adverse skin, skin sensitivity, this razor may just be the ticket, and it's coming out here shortly. Let's start some battle passes here and see if we can get anything off the slope side. Slope is a phenomenal razor. I still think it's maybe one of the best, most unique razors that Grace has ever offered. But as far as like the closeness, pass for pass, I'm saying the Avanti was definitely probably a little bit closer, a little faster at that blade angle and the blade gap that it's giving me. Really, really nice shaving razor. I'm not getting anything off though of the slope side, so that's a good sign that we still got a great shave from the slope, just a little bit slower. Oh my goodness, on the back of my head, the Avanti razor, the weight is very, very proportionate and pushed towards the back side of the razor, right? It's all the weight is going to the head. That makes sense. All this weight is going right in. So as I am putting it to the skin, it seems to sit really nicely and goes right into my divots and just takes out anything that's left over. Look here. I think we are actually finding a little bit of stubble, a little bit on the backside of my head where the slope was just kind of struggling today. And I did not have any problems finding it and cleaning it up with the Avanti. Really nice. This is a cool razor. It's getting a lot of hype. I will call that out. It's getting a lot of hype because the Merkur Progress has such a following, right? It's so much popularity. So many people love that razor. And I think because of that, I think it was really smart of YAQI to offer something that's a little bit more premium, a little bit nicer. And it feels, to me, just like it's going to be I think it's going to be a showstopper, in my opinion. I think they swung for the fences with this one and absolutely landed all around the stars. Look at the shave here. It's close. It's really comfortable. I did manage to get a little bit off with this razor. I will mention that the slope is a great shaver. I really enjoy the way it shaves, but yeah, I would say it's a little, just a teeny bit closer using the Avanti razor with that amount of gap. I don't know what it is. It's magic with that really mild fill. It's extremely mild. I would say it's one of their most mild razors, and it's definitely their most mild adjustable. Next to the slope, I would say it's definitely equal to the slope as far as like blade fill. There is no stubble on my head. Look at it coming off. Look at the lather just coming right off here. There is no stubble whatsoever on my skin at all. Wow, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that was glorious. Look at the lather though. Definitely nothing in there whatsoever. Excellent shave from the Avanti. Really, really, really excellent shave. Very, very close. Very, very fast. Much better than the first time I used it and the second time I used it. And I think that's partially due to the fact that I'm starting at a much higher gap to start, right? It's just all about figuring out where you need to start the razor. That's all adjustables for me. And I'm finding that at the upper portion of the razor, right? Towards a full turn of the razor, the Avanti is no slouch. It brings a lot of performance. I would say the one thing, if you were to compare them side by side, is that the Avanti razor and the slope razor, right? Look at the adjustable slope. It's a lot smaller. Do you guys see that? It's a lot. Look at how chunky this head is, and look at how, this is much more minimalistic as far as the slope goes. So their slope, I still got good performance with, and it's a typical 3-pass razor for me. So if you like a smaller head, the slope is still the more mild and still going to give you a phenomenal BBS shave. And it is honestly, it's a great razor, an absolutely phenomenal razor that you can rely on daily for day-to-day, every single day, and it's going to give you a close shave. But if you're looking and you're okay with a little larger head, and you may even like the weight going towards more of that head, right? When you feel that weight, it's going a little bit more towards the head. This actually, the Avanti razor may really suit your preferences. Oh my goodness, what a close one. Fabulous shave today. Oh, I love doing it with you. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't, please go below. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. And if you could, it would be awesome if you would subscribe. It would help our channel continue to grow and continue to reach people. Oh my goodness. And it shows that we do have viewership and people interested in the craft, right? There is people out there that care and are interested. Oh my goodness. This was fabulous. It was close. Smells phenomenal. I'm not getting any irritation whatsoever. It's to the bone. It's so good. Oh, I needed this today. 4 days gone and done easily with probably two of my favorite razors in the mild settings from Grace over at Team Yaqi. Absolutely phenomenal. Thanks again for being here. I'm going to get out and enjoy a perfectly close BBS shave. And until I see you for our next one, Subes out.